Situated where the Ottawa River meets the St. Lawrence Seaway, Montreal, the largest inland port in the world, and a major transportation hub for goods and for people. Over 3.5 million people live in the Greater Montreal area, making it the largest French-speaking city in the Western Hemisphere. Newcomers flock here from all corners of the world, drawn by a way of life that celebrates diversity. As they come, they bring their food, their dress, their customs, and their music. The result, a dynamic cultural milieu that absorbs and blends countless musical traditions. To explore how this process of cultural blending works in practice, 3 world-class musicians have come together in this vibrant city for a unique collaboration. They are Liu Fang, who was raised in China and trained at the Shanghai Conservatory. She plays the pipa, or Chinese lute, and she is a master of guzheng, a zither. Yegor Dyachkov, who was born in Moscow and was trained in the European classical tradition, plays cello. And Khongorzul Ganbaatar, also known as Zola, sings in the Mongolian folk tradition of urtin-du, or long song. They represent a younger generation of musicians fully open to the power of music to transcend boundaries. They will rehearse and then perform together in front of a concert audience compositions based on the long song form. This will be a voyage of discovery for all of them. The musicians meet for the first time.
It's very difficult to make a note, I don't know, written in Mongolian long song.
Well, it's actually very clear, because you see, you use the pentatonic scale all the time, right? I didn't know whether you had perfect pitch, whether you would transpose, I didn't even know if you actually work with written music or if it's all traditional by ear. Okay, so when do we start? Maybe Thursday? So we can do something in the beginning, something between
Yes,
verse
yes.
2 and 3. I could play the beginning.
Yes, you can.
And you can do the middle. We do something.
And I will follow you 2 times with my pipa. It's a good idea.
One beat before. So.
Just a moment, I didn't get the feeling.
Liu Fang is comfortable improvising.
Here.
Yegor, however, has to work from a score. His music will be written for him by composer Michael Oesterle.
One thing I discovered about the long song is that it has to me, kind of a universal quality to it. It's moving, it has an immediacy that is just fun to embrace. And it stands so well on its own, meaning that it doesn't need accompaniment from another instrument, although as soon as you put other musicians with a long song, it just becomes marvelous and many things open up.
Right? Right in? Bum, 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 bum.
You give the notes to me.
Right.
Yes,
I'll slow down a little bit.
yeah.
Yegor's classical European training began as a student at the Tchaikovsky Conservatory in Moscow. He moved to Canada when he was 13 and studied at the University of Montreal. He subsequently went on to study at the Music Academy of Cologne, Germany. Today, Yegor Dyachkov is one of Canada's most respected classical musicians.
Well, I was born in Moscow, Russia, in 1974. And I remember being quite sensitive to music. For example, my father was one of the first performers of the Shostakovich Viola Sonata. He's a violist and my mother's a pianist, and they both played it together. And this is very, very sad and intense music. And I remember I was about 5 or 6 years old. I remember my parents noticing that I was getting a sad eye, maybe, when listening to that. So there was this connection to music already. I didn't decide to become a musician. I think my parents couldn't ignore the fact that I had some talent for music. My mother actually used a ruse to lure me into playing, because at that age I really wanted to become a zookeeper. And my mother said that, well, you know, animals are very sensitive to music, and particularly to the cello. And I think it really worked. I thought, well, you know, this is an instrument that could make me a better zookeeper, maybe. And I just went ahead and gave it a try. And soon enough found out that this was indeed a very appropriate instrument and means of expression for me. I felt that I could connect with music and I could express things that I couldn't express otherwise. And I think by the age of 10, I was pretty sure that this is what I had to do. My father spent countless hours just sitting in my practice sessions and trying to guide me and making sure that I covered all the material. It takes a great level of commitment from parents in general, and certainly in an ultra-competitive school like in which I was enrolled, the Central Music School, which was attached to the Moscow Conservatory. So there's a lot of commitment that's involved in learning this language.
Pipa has very important 2 techniques. One is called tan tiao, only use 2 fingers, like this. 1, 2. Another one is called 轮子. 轮子, we use 5 fingers. Start from this one.
From early recognition as a child prodigy, Liu Fang has blossomed into a remarkably talented musician of international stature.
I began to learn pipa when I was 6 years old because my mother is a traditional Chinese opera singer. So I had a chance to listen to the traditional Chinese music even before I was able to speak. My mother often took me to the rehearsals and the performances. So I was very attracted by the dancing and the singing and the stage. So I really love Chinese opera and Chinese traditional music. My mother bought pipa for me when I was 6 years old. That changed my life. I practice a lot every day. I got up early in the morning, around 5 o'clock, to practice pipa around 2 hours. And in the evening, I practice 2 hours, so at least 4 hours a day.